guys, how you doing? It's Henry, Mowers and Blowers. My friend Mike from Mike's Lawn Care in Babylon texted me on Instagram. He says, "Hey, you want a free mower?" What kind of mower? Oh, a riding mower. I said, "Oh, cool. Yeah, sure." So he showed me a screenshot of a Let Go thing, and I found it on Let Go. Sometimes, you know, if you're not scouring Let Go like 24 hours a day, which I used to do, but I'm so busy that I haven't been doing it, you know, you'll miss it if it's there, because once they post a free tractor, it's gone, like, you know, almost instantly, especially if it's on the curb. You know, I usually don't pick up the curb ones because if it's a far distance, I know I'm not going to get it in time, you know. A lot of metal scrappers out here, you know, since metal has gone up in price in the past few years. You know, you used to get like 2 to 3 cents on the pound. Now it's like $1 on the pound, so it's pretty good. I've never metal scrapped myself. I've got enough to do, trust me. Anyway, so I finally got in touch with the guy on Let Go, thanks to Mike over in Babylon. I appreciate it. I'll hook you up with that baggie. Anyway, so I talked to the guy. It's a Yard Machines 17 horsepower or 16 horsepower, one of those things. It's a lawn tractor. He says that a year and a half or 2 years ago, it was running and everything, and the deck rotted out, so he just left it there for like 2 years, and so now it's time for him to get rid of it. You know, it's in his yard and stuff. So he told me that the engine and tranny worked before he parked it. So you know, I've noticed that the Yard Machines, their decks are always bad, you know, so anyway, if you noticed in the background, I've got some more stickers up. You know, I figure I'm in front of the camera pretty often now, so, you know, may as well advertise a little bit in the background, you know. I'm wearing some Lucas Oil swag that I just got recently from my friends over at Lucas Oil Products. Great company, very generous, and quality products. So check out some Lucas Oil products when you guys get a chance, especially that multi-purpose parts cleaner and degreaser. I swear by that stuff because that's way better than carb cleaner. They also have another thing that doesn't leave any residue, fast drying. It's called Lucas Oil Contact Cleaner. That stuff works great too. Anyway, so this place is in Coram, and it'll take me about a half an hour to get there. And once I get there, I'll load up this Yard Machines lawn tractor into my van, and you know, hey, I may not be able to use that deck, but I know my friend 5-Speed Ash over in Lindenhurst, he needs a deck for his Bronco, his Troy-Bill Bronco. So we'll do a I'm over here at his house. This is what it looks like. Just pushed it from over there. We're just gonna get this to the street. You know, they pay it forward to me, I'll pay it forward to them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
You know what? It'll be good. Don't worry. I don't want you to go through any sort of deal. I'm already extremely thankful that you're willing to let go of it. And you know what? I need to start taking some your advice. Is that, I mean, I've got so much junk sometimes, Tad, in my backyard that I really need to just. I'm kind of a hoarder too. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to give it away because I know one day I'm going to need it, you know?
Right. But, you know, my thing is, you know, after a year or so, 2 years, depending on what it is,
Of course.
If you haven't used it, you haven't looked for it,
You're never going to use it again.
Right.
Exactly. And that's usually the time period, about a year.
Right.
If you haven't touched it or looked at it or
right, or
anything,
you thought about it, absolutely.
yeah, get rid of it.
So
Man.
it's, I was holding on to this for the engine because I know the engine's great, and it'll go right on that tractor if need be, but it's got to go now. Yeah. It's in my way.
Hey, and listen, you're a mechanic. You know what I'm saying? So, as long as you maintain these engines, putting gas in it and oil, that's all you need, man. They're never going to go bad. You know, the only thing you should stay away from, and this is just from my experience, if you ever buy another tractor again, Kohler Courage.
Okay.
Single cylinder.
Right.
Do not buy it. Even if they give it to you for free, don't even buy it.
Yeah, I hate it.
They are there's some covers on the top, and so they don't Loctite it too well. So over time, the vibration, the bolts go up, they come up, hit the flywheel, and then it's done.
Oh wow.
It's terrible.
Wow. Okay.
Kohler Courage. Now
Yeah.
they're dual cylinders. The V twins, they're
Yeah.
they're okay.
Okay.
But don't buy a single
Yeah, I
cylinder.
think that's what I have.
A Kohler Courage? I don't.
No,
think
not a Courage.
They don't put them. They don't put Courages on generators.
No, not a.
It's
It's
a
not
command.
A Courage.
You have a
Yeah.
Kohler command. That's a good engine.
Flash.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people it won't start because
Bell bunches, adjustment.
yeah.
It's easy too.
Sure.
You know what you're doing. You know.
Hey, I didn't know what I was doing.
As you can see, I'm all set up for doing this
I
all the
see
time,
that.
and it makes my life so much easier. Look at you split, baby.
There you go. Very nice.
Listen, I can't thank you enough there, Tad. It was a pleasure meeting you too.
Same here.
And if you have time, check out my channel here.
Absolutely.
Mowers and blowers. Easy to do, man. Subscribe, like, follow, and I'll shout you out in this video. Cool. Where's the parking brake lever, you know? It's usually here, but this is the... What is this? You know what I'm saying? The lever that
Well,
you...
that's on a Craftsman, yeah.
Yeah.
This.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. See, they'll have the park.
Oh, I see. How about that? Yeah, I put the brake down, you did that, and it stayed there.
Yep.
How about that? Hey, you don't have any old batteries, do you? That you were about to
No,
jump?
I had about 10 of them. And I actually took them down here to the PK Metals.
What? How much did they give you there?
I think it was like $3 or $4 a battery.
Oh yeah. Well, listen to this. If you go to AutoZone,
Okay.
they'll give you $5 or $10 on a gift card per battery.
Wow.
5 or 10, depends on the store.
Right.
I never usually do that because I always need one tractor battery, so I need the core deposit. You know what I'm saying?
Right, sure.
To save me $5.
Right, absolutely.
That's why I always need batteries. Oh, so that guy you were talking to let go about me. He's one of my YouTube subscribers. So, you know, he picked up some stuff for me, I fixed some stuff for him, you know.
Right,
And, so he kind of watches out for me. If I'm wrenching in the garage and he sees a free tractor. Hey guys, so I'm back. It's actually kind of cold today. It's like 65 degrees. I'm kind of cold. This might be from remnants of Dorian, you know, because the outskirts is going up the coast and making a eastern turn, so that the tail ends of that stuff Mowers oil products. Cool. This tractor is trash. It's in very rough condition. I mean, just my pushing the back like that, rust was like on my hands. Very rough. I'm probably not going to do anything with this except take the engine out, because the guy said the engine works. I think it's a 16.5 horsepower. It's a lawn tractor. He has slime inner tubes in there. So he says it's kept its air for like a year or two. Which is good. Could always use the wheels, right? I'm going to part this out. This deck is Dunsky. And as you can see, it's starting to rain. This deck is Dunsky. I mean, every part of it has rust all over. Completely rusted out. See? I don't even want to get near it. I could scrape myself and die. See? So if you look at the deck, it's so rusted out that the spindles, from the weight of the spindles, just drop down. Even though the surrounding areas don't look too bad. You know what I mean? It's odd. But that's where all the dirt and the grass get, you know, bunched up, and then it rains, moisture stays there, and rust just kills it. But, you know, I'll part it out, man. Rubber brake pedal thing here, foot pads. Look at that seat. Hey, that seat's still good. You know, levers, choke, all that. Ooh, free cup holder. I'm not going to use that. There's a hood. I could always use a hood. So anyway, this is 16.5 overhead valve, Briggs. He says it works, and you know, I like these engines. They're very nice. They're very good. They're reliable. They always work. At least for me, gas tank's yucky, but you know, I could always use it. Has the light lens. So it's all decent parts, you know, that I could always use for a future application or whatever. Muffler, you know. So there's stuff in here. Before the rain gets any worse, I'm going to try to make some room and park it in my garage. They say garage in England, you know. So I've moved everything inside the garage now. That thing I just got is in the garage. I'm going to be stripping that of its parts and then putting the frame to the curb, as well as this Cub Cadet as well. The nicked from Medford one. I'm going to strip it for parts and put it to the curb for the scrappers. This one here, I'm going to start chipping all the paint. I've done that already. It's a ton of chipped paint on the rust, you know. So I've already scratched off and grinded off a lot of the chipping paint, and I'm going to primer the rusted areas and then just go over it with some mustard color yellow that may or may not match well, but no matter what, it's going to be better than this, right? Just to make it a little bit more presentable, you know. There's a ton of rust down there, but it's okay because most of that's going to be covered by these nice rubber foot mats, you know. They're in very good condition. If any of you guys are interested in the hydrostatic transmission on this thing, obviously you've got to be in the local New York area. I'm going to chuck it to the curb because I don't even know if it works or not, you know. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I'll probably keep the tranny on this one because he said it worked. Just got to go by what you know, you know. I'm going to tape this off. So I had this white filler primer, and I just went over, not the whole thing, but just mostly the rusted stuff, which is like the whole thing. And I realized that I didn't have any more mustard yellow paint, so I can't paint it yellow yet. But I have some gloss white, so I painted a little bit of the hood to make it look nicer. And it's a yucky day out, like I said, and I'm just going to finish off the day by stripping down whatever I can from the old Cub Cadet. A lot of good parts in here, you know. I'll have to eventually flip it on its side so I can take off some of the good stuff, you know. I just took the seat off, some panels. I'm going to take the hood off because inside the hood there are the wiring harness, switches, all that. That drive shaft I'll eventually try to get out too. Wiring harness for the lights, that's always, you know, a good seller on eBay. These panels here are kind of in bad condition, however, and they're also too big to ship on eBay too. But even these little things, the rubber things on the brake pedals and the gas pedals, you could sell those on eBay. They're small, easy to ship. The switches, right? I'm gonna take the steering wheel off. Eventually take the wheels off. Even the gas cap, the gas tank, all the stuff you can use, you know what I'm saying? I'll just 86 the frame. Down pretty good. Front end is off. There's still like a ton of stuff underneath to try to get the steering columns out. I want to take that out because the steering column is actually very good in the steering sector, so I know that if I get it out I could probably list it for get some decent cash for it. Looking at the hydrostatic transmission, it actually looks pretty good. I'm gonna take it off and keep it, you know, and list it. Maybe somebody wants it or something. But yeah, so I'm in the process of just dismantling everything that I could scavenge off of it, you know, even the bolts and stuff like that. So then when I'm done, I'll put the frame to the curb. It's a shame too. It seems like a nice frame. If it wasn't for just how difficult it is to acquire that horizontal engine to get this to work, I wouldn't be doing this. But because it's so rare and so difficult to get an engine for this thing, I have no choice but to part it out. It's a decent frame. Can't finish without going to Home Depot. So I'm back from Home Depot with my paint. Finally, I'm going to just paint the parts that were yellow. And of course, I really don't feel like it because my buddy Andy from Jericho came by, and you know, he brought over a suitcase of 30 sliders from White Castle, and I've got like food coma. I don't really want to do anything, but the job must be done. Starting to look pretty good. Got the yeller on there, and well, I wasted that can. Not wasted, but whole can. I mean, barely had enough. One coat. It's a good thing I had a primer under there. So now I'm going to put the hood on. Hey, put the floor pads on too. Got the hood almost all the way on. 4 3/8 bolts on each side, and then I gotta paint the side covers. I didn't paint the side covers yet, but starting to come together, man. It's only taken 4 episodes. So I just painted one side with this quick color. It's taking a lot because, like I said, this one doesn't really coat very well. You know, it's mostly air and not that much. I mean, it doesn't really work all that well. But it was only 98 cents. See how slow you gotta go for you to even see anything? So Scott Keller made a comment about my muffler. He says that muffler for 12.5, it's it's going to bog down. I said, but the muffler is off of a Briggs 12.5, and I'm just putting it on a 13. What difference does that make? He's like, shows how much you know. I says, well, I never said I knew everything. I'm just a backyard tractor flipper trying to make a tractor run is all I'm doing. I never claimed to know a lot, you know. I'm learning just as I go. Now, I would never think about taking the title of Mr. Know-It-All away from you. You're the only one who always claims that you know it all. So I would never think about taking that title away from you. So you know what? Whatever it is, you're right. Whatever you say is the correct way to do it. But you can do that with your own tractors, and when you make your own videos, you can do all that. You don't have to talk about mine. If you know it all, make your own videos. And then you can put a bigger muffler on your tractor when you're making it. How about that? Catch me outside, how about that? But I'm just making my tractors go. You can make your tractors go when you get your own channel. And then let other people criticize your work. Shows how much you really know. Anyway, that's all I have to say about that. Hey. So it's the next day, and I have been working on this for over a week. But it's coming together. This new panel that I painted with that 98 cents thing looks pretty good. Just gotta match this up to this part right here. A couple of clips. It's actually pretty easy to install the side ones. It's just a couple of weird things here. Tighten the wing nuts. There's a bolt on the bottom too. Snaps into place. Starting to look nice. I'm going to do the other side. So while I didn't really want to spend this kind of time on this, I guess that's how I'm different from other tractor flippers, is that, you know, other people may buy working tractors that just need a little bit of work just to get it started and stuff, and then, I mean, they'll probably buy it for like $100 or $200 or maybe $300 or something like that for a tractor that's in good shape. And all you have to do is just get it started, and you sell it, you know, for like $500 or $600, and make a profit of maybe $200 to $300, right? Well, I've just gotten into the habit of getting them for free, acquiring the engine for free, and then maybe spend $50 to $100 getting it working, and then I sell it for $600 and make $500 profit. But see, that's the draw, is that you know, you want the big profit, right? But is it worth that extra week of work, you know, for that extra $100 or $200? I don't know if it is. But to me, though, I look at it this way, is that I learn while I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? And if there's something else, you know, now I can say, hey, I've you know, done a horizontal before. You know, I've worked out all the kinks to getting this one going from nothing, you know. And while this was in terrible shape, as you can see now, it looks pretty good. And so let's just go over what I did here. So I traded for 2 tractors without engines with Nick from Medford. As you know, the Sabre was the other one. That Sabre didn't take too much to get going, and as you can see, that Sabre is in awesome condition. And that would probably fetch me a good 700, 750. And I didn't spend any money on there, maybe, you know, 10 or 15 bucks on paint and, you know, knickknacks and all that. This one, remember, I actually spent 75 for this mower itself, but essentially I was getting it just for the engine, you know, which we got running really well. And I'm using the mower deck from the Nick from Medford one. Right, so I'm in this with paint and some knickknacks, maybe 85, 90 bucks, you know. Let's just call it an even 100 bucks. So 100 bucks. I got a Cub Cadet that runs, mows, drives, starts, and all that. And it looks pretty good. So I'll probably, see, I don't even think this really mows all that well. I haven't really tried it yet, but engine runs good, and I'll probably get 6 for it, maybe 5 or 6 for it, you know. But I tell you what, I know for sure I'm going to be getting at least a couple of $100 on just parts for this. I've listed all the other little things that I've taken off in the process. And that stuff is actually pretty expensive. That drive shaft, they want like $150 on eBay, brand new. And you can see like there's maybe 5 or 10 drive shafts online, and they're going for about $30 to $50. So, you know, if you eBay all that stuff, and there's still plenty to go. I haven't flipped it on the other side to get the other bolts on the other side to get the rest of the linkage and the mounting stuff and the lifts, the hangers, not to mention the hydrostatic transmission for a garden tractor, you know, gas tank. And I'll put the frame to the curb, you know, for the scrappers. But this thing has come a long way. I've made 2 Cub Cadets, 2 junk Cub Cadets into 1. With the paint, putting it all together. I gotta see if the lights work later. But it looks pretty cool. I like it. Let's see if the lights work. I just connected the wires. Oh, one lighting up is good. Bulb, halogen bulb, looks Dunsky. So I'm gonna get just one of the light sockets from one of the other tractors from the back, and then I just connect it into this one. So this was kind of fun, you know, but it did take about a week, 4 episodes, 5 episodes of this to get it going. But all in all, I think it looks pretty good. And then on to the next one, you know. So, you know, I picked up a Yard Machines. I have another Yard Machines. I'm going to make 2 out of 1, or 1 out of 2, you know. See you guys next time. Mowers and blowers. Hey guys, support my channel, buy a sticker. Also follow me on Instagram at mowersblowers. Check out my website, mowersblowers.com. See you guys on my next project. Have a great day. Hey guys, Boba and I want to thank you for all the support of Mowers and Blowers. If you'd like, make a short video clip like these, and I'll put it as an outro in my future videos.
See you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers.